Welcome back, grappling fans. My name's John Evans, and thanks for joining me again today for another Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu tournament match. Today's match is going to be another one from the 2014 Pan American Games. This one is at the brown belt level with a little someone called Mike Carbullido. You might have heard his name before. If not, you're in for a treat because this guy is very exciting. Let's go ahead and cut on over to it. We've got Mike Carbullido here on the right in the white gi. And his opponent, I believe, is Inacio Neto in the blue gi. He's a Gracie Baja guy. Also very good, so this should be pretty interesting. I believe this one is the semifinals. So whoever wins this one goes on to the big show, to the finals for all the marbles and all of that. So they are looking to come out here and establish their dominance. Mike has some pretty good stand-up. He makes his collar sleeve grip, and it looks like he was trying to snap Inacio down. And off of that, I think he was trying to grab an ankle pick on the far leg. So you snap your opponent down, and then you'll tap this ankle, and then you push with your other arm, with your right arm across as you run across in front. Inacio apparently did not like that, so he sits right into guard, but he goes for a De La Riva. As you can see, he's grabbing this leg, but he shoots this middle leg in between, so he's got the De La Riva grip, but he's more of a reverse De La Riva, or maybe a deep half, I'm not sure. Mike actually doing a very good job of getting a good knee through the middle position, and that's about where they ended up. I hate when they restart him. I guess it was a little too close to the edge, just because they can never quite get the same exact feel of the position, or the same energy that originally was in the position. Yeah, and Inacio right here is going for this deep half sweep. He's actually in a very good sweeping position, but not able to underhook this leg quite enough. Even though he had an underhook, it was kind of weak. And Mike decides to X-pass and passes the guard. And Inacio is going to go apeshit right here. He's just bucking and kicking, and he's trying to turn and stop those 3 points from happening. And, oh man, that seemed like that was 3 seconds of control, which should give him the 3 points. But as you can see, the ref, he gives him just the advantage for that. I guess he did not establish the control long enough. That's a little questionable. Oh, but Mike Carbullido right there swims in between the legs of Inacio and is able to take this north-south position. This should also be 3 points. If there's a guard established, this should be 3 points. But Inacio is able to get right up onto a single leg. And now he grabs the far leg, is able to take Mike Carbullido down, but Mike is fighting super hard, so probably an advantage for Inacio there as they go out of bounds. Good defense from Mike Carbullido. That was very nicely done. Mike arguably getting robbed on those. He had the north-south position, and he had that side control earlier, and I think he just got advantage for both of them because they didn't say that he established control for 3 seconds. Oh man, I guess you'd have to rewatch it with a timer, but it looked like both of them could have been about 3 seconds to me, so sometimes the refs just do not give you the good calls. But, you know, it might have been a correct call, but you'd really have to look at it with a watch. And there, Mike, you can see he was trying for that same snap down and going for the ankle pick on the far leg of Inacio. And that's exactly what I thought he was going for earlier, so he probably was. And I guess they started showing off a little bit too much skin for the ref's liking, so he's going to tell them to redress, put their gis back together, and make sure that the belts are nice and tied. And they're going to slap hands and get it started again. Mike is nice and low. It really looks to me like he's the superior wrestler in this situation, but as Inacio pulls right to guard, Mike doing an excellent job of getting that knee right through the middle, controlling the bottom leg, and he's going to X-pass again, but Inacio, ready for it, takes his outside foot and swings it over the top, now inverting. Last time he inverted, though, it didn't do him too many favors because Mike Carbullido was able to weave the legs and get to north-south, but this time, no dice. Now pulling off to the side, and he is in the Z guard, or the knee shield guard of Inacio. And I guess they're too close to the yellow right here. I mean, like I say, if you can let them keep playing, let them keep playing. If it's not that close to the edge, just compromise this position. At least this time they dragged them, so they had all the same exact grips. But just anytime they stop it and restart the action, it's just not the same. So I wish they'd let them play as long as they could. Mike in a pretty good knee through the middle position, and Inacio, sensing this, tries to loop his lasso over, but Mike is going to pass right away and back into this north-south position with Inacio trying to invert, but Mike trying to weave the legs. He gets his hands right in between the legs, and then he can get his head to the hip, and he'll take north-south, but it did not work out this time. Inacio, it was hip to this one, and Mike Carbullido shoving right down into this knee-through passing position again. He's got this grip on the collar, which can be very nice, especially for that X pass. You can see he's got the other grip on the leg. So if he gets this leg free, if there's no clamp on it with his opponent's half guard, then he will step it out, and he can step it to the side and then X pass, pushing his opponent's legs to the far side. But Inacio now has the lapel underneath Carbullido's leg. So this can spell disaster, because as we saw with the last Victor Estima fight at the Pan Ams, he was just able to stand up, and when you stand up, you get your hips high enough to basically be on a really deep single leg, and this messes with your opponent's posture, and it just gives you all kinds of problems if you're on top. So Mike trying to maybe get a crossface. He might try to club pass, but he's got an overhook right now, which is probably smart, but Inacio looking to go for that deep half guard, and he is going to be able to pull himself right into there. Now, he might try, before he tried to roll up and underhook this leg with his arm, with his left arm. And then there's a nice little sweep that he was trying for. He wasn't able to get it to go last time. Let's see if he does it this time. Nope, this time he's just trying to come to the front door and push off, which is an excellent deep half sweep, especially if your opponent's base is slightly off. But they scramble, and Mike Carbullido is able to stand again. I'm not sure if Inacio still has that grip. I think he does, because you can see the gi lapel. It looks pretty stretched there, so it's probably tight around underneath the hamstring of Mike Carbullido. Mike trying to just force this knee through the middle position, but Inacio gets his feet back in between them, and that is going to stop the pass. Now Inacio does not have this lapel grip underneath the leg of Mike, so Mike is in a very good knee through the middle position. He's got Inacio completely on his side. He's going to get the knee through. If he can point his toes, maybe get a crossface, an underhook, then he will be able to get out. And during the scramble, a lot of times your opponent, when he sees that you're passing, they'll hip escape, and that's when you'll hit your X pass, and that's exactly what Mike Carbullido did. And oh, he's trying to get up to the top, but Inacio giving him all kinds of problems with his grip on the hand, and that's going to allow Inacio to stand right up. And now they're back in this neutral position. Mike trying to shoot in for a double leg. Oh, and he's got good grips on the knees, but they go out of bounds. I'm not sure if they're going to give him an advantage for that one, but man, this is I think because of the lack of points, it might actually be all tied up and just going down to advantages, or maybe even a ref's decision. I haven't been keeping track, and I don't see the scoreboard on here, but you know, that could really alter the course of events here. Even though Mike Carbullido arguably has been dominating with the guard passes, if he doesn't get points for him, he just gets advantage, then they might be all tied up, or Inacio might even be in the lead. So this could be a problem for Mike. Being that this is the semifinals, he probably is going to need to have a sense of urgency and try to get some points, maybe on a takedown or a quick pass, if he can. Oh, and Inacio tries, I'm not sure, I think he was trying for a Seonagi, but ends up giving side control, now turtling up. Mike Carbullido's trying to take the back, but he does not have this hook in, so no points yet. And you can see he's trying to hold his own leg there if he can stay off to the side. He actually has a pretty good position, but Inacio is now going to probably try to put his head to this side, maybe make a crossface and drive straight. And now, yeah, you can see it's already starting to work out into guard, but now he's in danger of being in a triangle, so he's trying to scoot his butt back. The triangle's pretty loose. It's a little bit on the foot of Mike Carbullido. He was trying to grab his own shin. Mike was trying to grab his own shin. Oh, and he underhooks the leg, which puts Inacio on his butt, but they go out of bounds again. They're going to have to restart. This is one of the times where you feel like maybe a cage or something. I know it wouldn't be very practical and would make for not a fun spectator experience, but something where they could just not go out of bounds all the time, maybe bigger mat space or something, because, I mean, this is just ridiculous how much this is affecting the match. But, oh, and I think they're going to give sweep points to Inacio. Maybe takedown points, I'm not sure. He went for the drop Seonagi. There was no guard established, in my opinion. He was in danger of giving his side control, and Carbullido jumped all over that, took the back. There was no guard, so I'm not sure about 2 points there for Inacio. I mean, I guess I'd have to go back and look at it, but it just doesn't seem like there was a guard established. And there needs to be a guard established for there to be a sweep, unless they're calling it a takedown, but it kind of wasn't really a takedown, just scrambled and ended up on top. Mike trying to roll for an omoplata and get on top, but I think time is winding down. He is trying furiously. His afro is just flopping all around and nearly throws himself into a triangle. Got to watch out, but he's down on points, so you got to go for broke. Inacio now probably trying to set up this armbar. Oh, because he's underhooking the leg. He's either going to try for a waiter sweep, or he's going to throw the leg over the head and go for that right arm armbar on Mike. But they're going to reset him once again back in the center. You can see Mike is visibly upset. Throwing his lapel to the side. I think that was his lapel. They're going to go right back into this terrible position. This is a horrible position. This is, if you're in this position, you do not want your posture with your chest facing down. When they say posture up, you want your chest facing the wall, right? You don't want your chest facing the ground. Because if it's facing the ground, you're in very, very bad danger of being armbarred. Mike now stepping over the De La Riva. Oh, and that's going to be time. Inacio Neto is going to take this one. Has a bit of a controversial match there in the semifinals. It's unfortunate too that such a high-profile match that is so far into the tournament is being decided by some questionable calls. Like I said, I'm not saying that they were completely wrong, but I'd have to go back and look at them maybe with a timer. But not like it matters anyway, because the ref has the final say, and I've very, very rarely, in fact, maybe even never, seen a bad call or a wrong call overturned. Even if they have it on video, they show it to the ref, they go above that ref, show it to the head refs, the ref staff. Just very rarely do you see anything overturned in the IBJJF, which is kind of unfortunate because there are some really bad calls. And that needs to be addressed, especially if we want the sport to be taken more seriously. We need to get rid of the bias that we have in jiu-jitsu that I'm sure a lot of you have seen, and we also need to get rid of the bad calls, or at least have a way to fix them, because it's not always the ref's fault. They work really long hours, they have a very thankless job, but having said that, they are not always going to make the right call 100% of the time, even if they're a good ref, just because it's fatiguing, they can't watch everything, they're out there for God knows how many hours a day, and if they make a bad call, if there's no system in place to overturn that, then they have to stick with it. So that just makes it very tough, and a lot of people get the short end of the stick on that one. So hopefully they'll figure out something to fix that in the near future. But yeah, so that's the way the cookie crumbles. Mike Carbullido, kind of a big upset, because he's definitely always one of the favorites for his division. But yeah, that's going to be it for us today. Thank you guys for tuning in. I know I haven't been putting out as much content as I wanted to lately, but I am going to be bringing you many more videos, so sit tight. My name's John Evans. I've been your host. Thank you for watching. Until next time, goodbye.